What is school for? One of the biggest problems in education today is that the students are bored. When teens were asked to describe how they feel in school, bored was chosen most often, by half the students. Tired was second at 42%. Only 2% said they were never bored. So the question becomes, how do we help today's learners become passionate about school again? First, we must get students to focus on growing their brains, not pleasing the teacher to earn a good grade. If you were to ask most students in school, what's your main goal for this class? Most would say getting a good grade. The problem with this is when students focus on the grade, they tend to figure out how to get the grade they want with minimal effort. However, when students focus on the learning, they maximize their effort. The more effective their effort, the more they can learn. While we can't get rid of grades, we can change our students' focus. Next, we must encourage our students to stand out instead of conforming to the average peer. Everyone knows that the terrible twos are a time when children are constantly asking, why? But this curiosity seems to stop as children progress through school. This must change. When students are encouraged to think for themselves, to determine what they're passionate about, and use that passion to dive into learning with a purpose, they begin taking ownership over their learning. School is no longer about simply completing assignments in the exact way that the teacher lays out. Now they have the responsibility of deciding how they will present their learning. The possibilities with the aid of technology are endless. Students regain their curiosity for learning and will become actively engaged participants through the use of technology. In order to avoid boredom, students need to have a voice in how they learn. Technology is an amazing way to empower students. Giving students choice in how they access information, engage in the learning process, and express their learning are key components. Through the use of technology, students will begin focus on making connections, not just memorizing content for a test. And by supporting student choice in their learning, the students' passion for learning reignites and their boredom becomes extinct. There are infinite options for technology integration. These are just a few. Now that the students are actively engaged, they must learn to persevere when they struggle. Many students believe that when they struggle, it means they're not smart enough to do it. This is the mindset that must be changed within our students. Struggling is part of the process of learning. As Carol Dweck stated, the point isn't to get it all right away. The point is to grow your understanding step by step. What can you try next? Students must develop multiple strategies to use when they begin struggling during the learning process. Giving up isn't an option. Furthermore, students should fail early and fail forward. It is essential that the negative connotation that comes with the word fail is replaced. FAIL is simply an acronym, first attempt in learning. Therefore, if a student's never failing, that means that they aren't learning. The work they're doing isn't challenging enough. The more you do, the more you fail. The more you fail, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you get. Finally, students seek continuous feedback from their peers and teacher. Collaboration with a peer or an adult is a great way for students to first explain what they have done and then accept ideas and suggestions moving forward. When they do this, they once again take ownership for their learning. This is their project and their vision. By seeking input from others, they become collaborators, and each student feels a part of the group. They no longer perceive feedback as judgment on what they have done wrong, but instead suggestions on ways to improve and opportunities to learn from others. Since this is their project, they will make the final decision. We must change our teaching methods to make school focused on the learner. Education must adapt to the 21st century, and incorporating technology is the key component. We must not fail our students. We must adjust our perception of what learning looks like with technology at the core. We can no longer hide behind the excuses. Our school doesn't have access to sufficient technology. Or, technology is too far out of my comfort zone. I don't want to take that risk. Or, when the students get the control, they're going to use it to play around. Or, how am I going to keep these students on task if the room is not quiet and orderly? Our students must hold the reins to their learning. The teacher will no longer be the center of the learning process. We are there as a facilitator, coach, and mentor. Our job is to guide discovery. This is what school is really for.